On this week's episode of the Good Enough Mompreneur podcast, I'm going to talk about 2 ways to build your confidence as a new business owner. This is your host, Angela Michuli, with the Good Enough Mompreneur podcast. Thank you so much for joining me for another week. I wanted to just take a brief moment and say thank you to all of those families who have somebody in their family that maybe didn't return from a deployment or made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. Yesterday was Memorial Day. And as a veteran family, we definitely understand the sacrifice families make with service. And I hope that you felt a collective amount of appreciation and good vibes coming your way yesterday on Memorial Day. I hope you felt that on some level. So this week, I wanted to take a little time. I don't have an interview this week. I wanted to give you a couple of short tips to check in and release a podcast episode this week, but give you something thoughtful and a little information to think about. And I have a wonderful interview lined up later this week that I will publish next Monday. So I'm really excited for that. But I wanted to share a story with you that inspired this episode about a conversation that I had with a mompreneur who has 2 young girls. And I thought about that conversation, and I thought it would be really useful probably for the podcast listeners, in that she has a new business that she's starting, and a very talented baker, and she still is not sure how good her service is and how well her service would be received by others. And I gave her a little piece of advice on 2 ways that she could have more confidence about what she does as a business owner, because everybody tells her how wonderful they love her baked goods, and they are so gorgeous. And I've seen pictures and reviews and had them myself, and every time I see her, I just tell her how wonderful they are. And she still, like many moms who are starting a business, just lacks that confidence. And really, that is truly at the heart of starting a business for many moms, and that is what inspired the name of this podcast, is so many moms don't feel good enough for many reasons. But I let her know that one place that she can start to help her understand the perspective that she should have, instead of thinking about maybe not being good enough, is to focus on the service that she's providing, which is making anniversaries and birthdays and special occasions even more special because of her wonderful baked goods. And that's not something that many people can do, and they are gorgeous and they taste wonderful. And you can really tell when you taste her baked goods how much love she puts into them. So that was the first thing I told her, to put the focus on the service that she's providing, not on herself. The second piece of advice that I gave to her was to look at her business this way. Essentially, how dare she prevent or get in the way of the world experiencing her wonderful baked goods because she doesn't feel good enough, or she doesn't feel worthy, or she is unsure. And that everybody needs to experience her baked goods. And I mean that. They are amazing. And when I told her that, she started to tear up. And I could tell instantly that it wasn't because she was sad, but, and as I say it, I'm tearing up. But when she heard that, she knew it was true. And she, in an instant, I hope, got a small sense of the fact that she is given this gift for a reason. And she needs to share it. It is her obligation. So if you are listening to this podcast and on some level, fear, resistance, not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy to give or receive, those are two pieces of advice that I definitely recommend to you that can help you get mentally back on track to growing and starting your business. So number one is to focus on the service that you're providing, not yourself. Take yourself out of the equation. That definitely helps. And then the second piece of advice is to remind yourself that it is your obligation to share whatever gift it is that you have been given. The tap on your shoulder, the internal nudge. You have that gift for a reason, and you must share it. And you cannot let fear or hesitation or you can't play small anymore because you have this gift for a reason. So if that's ringing true to you right now, it's just something that you have to hear sometimes, and you have to be reminded, because I know as a business owner, especially as a mom, if you're taking care of little ones all day, it can be lonely, and you really are unsure of, is anybody really going to like this? Is anybody want this? Your ego will come in and just like, oh, I'll play it safe. I can go back to my desk job and my day job, my 9 to 5, and earn a paycheck. It's fine. This is too much work. It's too much trouble. Nobody's going to even want it anyway. Don't let your mind go there. Remember these 2 tips to help get you mentally back on track. If you are looking forward to next week's interview, or you found this podcast episode helpful, however short, I'd love to hear about it. If you could leave me a review, do a screenshot, and tag me in your stories, and I'll give you a shout out next episode of the Good Enough Mompreneur podcast. And also, you can subscribe. Both things don't cost anything at all. It would be greatly appreciated. And if you know somebody else in your life who is a mom and wants to start a business or has a new business and wants to continue to grow it, share this episode with her. I would greatly appreciate it. If you would like to follow me on Instagram, you can do that at Angela.Masciulli, Masciulli. I'll leave the link in the show notes, because I know that name is difficult. And I look forward to talking to you again next week and bringing you a wonderful interview with a really great person. I'm excited to talk to her. So until then, I hope you have an amazing week, and thank you again so much for listening. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.